Well, hello from beautiful Audrain County, Missouri. It's a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. It's a little bit windy. We had to move down into the bottom, so the camera's going to shake a little bit from the wind blowing it. But for all the Glock fans out there, no big secret, I'm not a fan of Glock, but I do want to talk about this particular model of Glock pistol because I think with this pistol, Glock got it right. And keep in mind, most of what I'm going to tell you is personal preference, but personal preference means something because if you don't like it, you're not willing to train with it. All kinds of bad things can happen. But I have probably owned every generation of Glock pistol that every time they came out with a new generation, made something better, I went and bought one. And for me, shootability suffered. I typically, as a general rule of thumb, don't shoot Glock pistols very well. So they didn't hang around long. So I now own two Glock pistols, a 43X, which we talked about during the Shield Arms magazine thing, and the Model 45. Now, it's not to be confused with Caliber 45. It's Model 45, chambered in 9mm. And I'll tell you how this came about. So when Glock came out with the previous generations, I got every one of them. Not every caliber, but every generation of gun. And the thing that always aggravated me about Glock, especially with their subcompact guns like the 26 and 27, was they always seemed to cut the grip too short and leave the barrel and slide too long, right? So everybody else for years and years and years have left you enough grip to shoot the gun, but shortened up the barrel and slide to aid in concealability. Glock always seemed like they went backwards. They left the barrel and slide long or longer and cut the grip so short that the gun never seemed balanced to me. They always seemed off balance. So the other thing, in the Gen 5 they did, so folks at the office, when the Gen 5s came out, folks at my office, deputies, went and bought Gen 5 Glocks. And talking to them, they said, hey, and the other thing that I didn't like about Glock was striker fire pistols, typically the triggers suck, and Glock's trigger pull sucked. It was just horrendous, had a horrendous stack to it, not a really good break. So it just, to me, it was not, my shootability with it suffered. Now, keep in mind, that's completely a training issue. I could pick up a Glock pistol if I trained with it long enough and put the time and the effort in, got the rounds downrange, focused on my fundamentals. I could train my way out of that and turn any Glock pistol into probably a good shooter. But that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of ammunition, takes a lot of effort. And, when I can pick up a pistol I've been carrying for 15 years, shoot it well, know how it operates, know exactly what I need to do to make it shoot well, seemed like a waste of time to me. So never did do it until the Gen 5 came out. So I took a couple of deputies out to the range with me, and I shot their Gen 5s, and lo and behold, the trigger pull was not bad. And then during a little bit of looking, I saw the 19X when it first came out, and I thought, oh, finally, Glock finally figured out that if you leave the frame full size for people with bigger hands and shorten up the barrel and slide, they probably sell a lot of those. Now, I did shoot a 19X and I really liked it a lot. However, I'm not into tan guns, so I did not buy one. And then lo and behold, they came out with the Model 45, which dimensionally is the same as the 19X, pretty much. Got the full-size grip and frame, a little bit shorter barrel and slide. So I went and bought one of these and shot it well. I was pleasantly surprised with how well I like this gun and how well it really fit me. So, and I'll show you something. This is a Model 19 Gen 4. So this is my wife's service pistol, and the previous generations that had finger grooves, everybody's body type is a little bit different. People have different body types, people have different hand types. There's all kinds of things that are different about people. So the way my fingers wrap around this gun, even though I'm up against a trigger guard, my fingers the pads of my fingers were kind of on top of those ridges for the finger grooves, and my pinky, I still couldn't get my pinky on this gun real well. So it really aggravated me because nice gun, it just, the shootability suffered for me because I could not get a comfortable grip, and Gen 4 trigger pull sucked. So when this came out and I bought it, I shot it, and so I shoot this gun. I know I told you guys I carry a 1911. So this gun is in my canine gear. It goes with me on dog calls. That's why this flashlight's here. So this flashlight is a Streamlight TLR1 HL, or high lumen. And most Streamlight flashlights, you operate the flashlight on a little switch here on the tail cap, and you either have to operate it with your trigger finger, which I don't like, right? Your trigger finger shouldn't be doing anything, because under stress, inevitably something bad will happen, and boom, you wind up pulling the trigger. You wind up doing stuff with your trigger finger that you shouldn't be doing. So most cops that have these will use their support side thumb and run that switch, which is perfectly fine. However, as most of you know, and I've told you several times, I'm a canine handler. So in this hand, I typically have a leash. So if I need a gun with a light, I don't want to be messing around with my trigger finger. So Streamlight makes this attachment. It's a different tail cap that goes on, and it goes under the housing of the trigger and has a push button there. So I can just squeeze the grip and turn the light on. So, kind of a cool thing, and that technology's been around forever, but Streamlight makes it nice and convenient, especially for a Glock, so that helped me out. And I've told you guys, I'm not a fan of hanging stuff off a gun, but there are times when I need something. I need two things in my hand at the same time, and I only got one hand. So if I can't use my support hand, if it's got a dog leash, I have a weapon-mounted flashlight that I can use if the situation arises. So anyway, man, I really dig the Model 45, and here's what I'll tell you. Again, not a Glock fan. I'll never say anything bad about Glock, even though I'm not a fan. They are utterly reliable. The manual of arms is simple. Anybody can pick one. We can train anybody to use one of these things. They're really great for what they're designed to be, which is a combat pistol. You can easily hit a man-sized target at 25 yards with enough time and training. They're very seldom, and somebody's going to get on here and go, yeah, I had one blow up, or blah, 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 or I've seen the Glock kabooms, and da-da-da-da-da, and all that's fine and good. But with as many of these guns as are out there, I don't know how many millions of guns Glock sold, a few are going to fail. And it's just the nature of the beast. It's a mechanical thing, and the wind's picking up rough. It's a mechanical thing, and inevitably, some of them are going to fail. Fact of life, man. So, yeah, while some of them have failed and some of them have blown up and things have happened, we have, I don't know how many, we've got 30 years of police shootings. We've got all kinds of data about the dependability, reliability, and functionality of Glock pistols. So even though I'm not a Glock fan, I will never say anything bad about Glock. So Glock guys, fire away. I'm going to agree with you if you say it's the best thing in the world, because I have no argument, no valid argument to say that it's not the best combat pistol in the world. So now your opinion may vary. Now, you know, I've talked to some veterans that spent time in Vietnam, and they were running around with a government Model 45, and they will tell you that is the best combat pistol in the world. Can't argue with them about that either. You know, everybody's mileage is going to vary a little bit, but even though I don't care for Glocks, I think Glock finally got it right with this configuration of pistol. Let's go ahead and take a look at that target. I mean, you guys have seen me shoot, and I'm not a slouch, but you know, I'm not like Rob Latham or nothing. But we're about 10 yards out. And I mean, for me and a Glock pistol, that's pretty good rapid fire. And you saw that you know, no shots on steel were missed. So that steel is about I'm gonna guess that steel's probably 12 or 13 yards, and that paper target is about 10. So 10 yards is a pretty good range. I mean, we know that most gunfights happen at 7. So, especially in the law enforcement world, when you start talking about gunfights, the majority of gunfights happen during car stops. Cars about 18 foot long, maybe 20. So, I mean, you're talking 7-ish yards. If there's a gunfight between a cop and somebody in the car in front of them, you're talking about a car length. So, stands to reason, 7 yards is pretty much where most of these gunfights land, or the majority of them, and that's what research shows us. So, out to 10 yards, shooting a group like that, man, I can't argue. Now I could probably pick up that Glock Model 19, not shoot it as well, because again, the trigger pull's not the same. The grip for me, is not comfortable at all. But I will tell you that I believe that the Glock Model 45, if they would offer that configuration, the full-size grip and frame and a little bit shorter barrel and slide in other calibers, they would probably have their sales explode. But again, that's just my opinion. But anyway, just a little tidbit for a Sunday afternoon about how Glock finally got it right. Sheriff Matt Aller from Audrain County. Have a great day.